different events with the Senior Olympics, so I didn't change that at all. I kept that the same in there, so there is money in there. But if you can think of something very specific that we need, I can add that in there. Okay. Okay. Yep, please feel free to go over it. If you have comments, concerns, questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Anything else?
Nope, that will be it for my report.
Great report.
Can I ask the director one more question, please?
You sure can.
Back to the kayak launch, which I'm excited about. So there's going to be an RFP go out to get bidders to build it, install it.
Right.
And we have the money from the grant to help pay for a lot of that.
Absolutely, yes.
Just what would you guess would be the time frame that, I mean, would it be installed this summer if everything goes well?
Yep, absolutely. We're going out for RFPs within the next couple of weeks and hoping to have it in the beginning of summer, mid-summer at the latest.
And that location is still south of Pier 1?
That is correct.
Okay, good. Thank
Yep.
you.
Welcome.
Anybody else have a question for Brandy? If none, we'll move on to the next item, old business. Leah, did you want to bring that up? You explained it so well the last time. We'll let you do that again.
Somehow, the members of us on the commission, Ann and I are, it's on. Ann, and it's yours, right, Ann? Ann and I, our terms are up. We have both and yours too, Bill? So our 3 terms are up, but I think yours is still listed as one of the 7 that's on the same time,
Yes.
right? So both Ann and I have agreed to let the board not nominate us again. Bill's willing to stay on for the remainder of his term, I understand.
For at least a year.
At least a year. And so what happens here, we have a new director, and if all the other 6 of us go off at the same time, then we're left with a brand-new board. And so I think it's critical. I've never served on a board before that didn't have staggered terms. I don't know how this happened, but it needs to be corrected.
Yeah, there's 7 of you are due up in 2017, and then actually just Ann and Leah are the ones that are up now.
Right.
Bill is still on through 2017 unless you wanted to leave your term early, but everyone else is 2017, so that does present a problem. That's a huge turnover if everyone was to leave at one time. So
Yeah.
typically, I know they're all 3 years, so I don't know if we can make an amendment where we can do like a couple 1 years and maybe a couple 2 years terms to kind of stagger those out. And it's also an opportunity if we wanted to thin the board out a little, because we do have quite a few members compared to a lot of the other committees. But they did keep everyone on. I think it got large when Water's Edge merged with the recreation. So I think both committees merged. So this is also an opportunity if we wanted to bring it down to 7, we could. We want to keep it 10. We can as well.
I think how it happened was, I don't know about the timing happening, but why we wanted so many people on board is because each one of us is a liaison
Right.
to those, like I'm golf and
Right.
so we, and
I'm sorry, I wasn't implying that we needed to thin it down. I'm just saying that that is an
Yeah.
option that if we wanted to go down to a 7 board, like a lot of the other commissions, we could.
I'm wondering if we couldn't, excuse me, if we couldn't take a look at those numbers and, because we don't want everybody on the 17th, and I'm not sure about the other, are the other numbers staggered? Except for us 3?
Other commissions or?
The other members of the recreation.
No, everyone term expires in 2017 except for Ann and Leah's.
Okay.
Everybody else is
Yeah.
2017.
Why don't we take a look at that, and maybe we would it be okay if we voted on that at the next meeting on
Oh yeah, absolutely.
next month?
And I'm sorry that I didn't check this out. I didn't think about it, but since it is an ordinance or it's a code, We might have to go to the township board to make changes to that if we're gonna stagger the terms. Like if someone is gonna, say Ethel takes a year term, like on her next one, or she ends up having 4 years, and someone else, say John, decides to do one. Like if we have to change people's terms, we might need to get that approved. I'll double check that for next meeting.
Yeah. then
But if
that'd
we
be
could have,
wise.
if we could have a goal, someone.
I'm thinking that if we all agree to what we think is acceptable, then you can make that, or Tom, being our liaison, could represent that at the board with you, and we could.
And it might not have to, we should probably double check that since it's an ordinance.
Yeah, it doesn't ever hurt to cover our bases. As long as,
Yeah, I think that would be fine with me.
yeah.
Yeah, first off, question, Lee, are you saying that both you and Ann don't wish to?
No, we both
Oh, no,
we
we
both
both
said we'd do it.
Okay, you both want, you both.
Yeah, we
want
both
to stay
said
with
we-
what
yeah.
you did.
Right.
Okay, I wanted to make sure that was straight.
Oh, thank you.
Just based on the current board, and they are looking at the different commissions. I personally don't have I am personally not opposed to maintaining the number of commissioners, in a rec committee, rec commission. I have no opposition to that at all, because everybody has their own specific, what I want to say, liaison responsibility. Thank you. But I will say that currently the board is looking at all the different commissions and they're actually talking about putting some of the commissions together. It just makes sense. I won't go into any detail, but there is conversation. I really don't see a problem. If there was some way to stagger the remaining 7, I think that if we came up with the rec commission came up with a plan, I'd bring before the board. I don't know that there'd be any opposition to that at all. They would understand perfectly that we don't want a 7-person turnover in one quick
I
movement.
agree.
It'd be great if all 7 wanted to stay, stay on. But it would make more sense to somehow stagger it, and I believe things like this have been done in the past. So
It was always my understanding that it was, of course, I get the letter and I say, okay, I'll sign up for another 3 years. But I wasn't aware that we were all in that thing until, I think Leah brought it up a while back. So, okay, let's without further delay, we'll just go ahead.
I think the one thing whatever we present to the board or whatever we decide, even if we ask some people to shorten their term, it doesn't mean they can't rerun. It doesn't mean we're trying to get rid of them. So if we say, okay, can you shorten your term by 1 year, and then this 2 positions will renew in 2017, 3 will 2018. So some of it we might be asking someone to release their term a year early, but they can still hold their chair and stay on for 3 more years. It's just the dates will shift of when their actual term is. So by all means, when we're discussing this, if you're a volunteer to shorten your term, it's not that we're trying to get rid of anyone in particular. It's just the terms that we're setting. So you are more than welcome to stay on and keep your position on the commission, but it would just, your term might be shortened, so it's staggering them along the way. So
Yeah, great.
So please, no one, if we ask you to shorten your term a little, we're not asking to get rid of you. We're just wanting to align them so we have different expiration years.
Okay, how can we all, can you send us all an email on what that information is? And
Yep,
then
and I can even offer some suggestions.
Yeah.
And really, it would just be say 2 people's term ends in 2016, 3 will end in 2017. So then we're staggering them all by a year. And maybe we do it in 2s. But I'll come up with a suggestion. I can email it out, and then we can, you can email me suggestions back, and then we can talk about it at the next meeting.
Great, do that, and then we'll finalize that next meeting. Yeah, at our end, and then you'll have to go to the board if you need to.
Yep.
Okay,
I'll double check
anything
that
else under new business? Old business, I mean?
I have one question for Brandon. I'd like to just clarify something from last meeting.
Yes.
It was suggested that you investigate government funds for senior citizens to improve the recreation building, and then stated that it was used primarily by seniors, and this isn't correct.
The activity center?
It's not it's not used primarily by the seniors. And so they're looking to the, to government funds for the seniors, and it's not a senior center. So I just wonder if it's gonna make any difference.
I think what you're referring to is CDBG money. There's some recaptured funds. It can be used for ADA accessible seniors. We do have a large amount of seniors that use the activity center. A lot of our programming is senior there, so that would qualify for.
Not too many, well, okay, that's what I want to know. There's
Yep.
not that many, but would it qualify
Yes.
for
Yep.
senior? Okay, that's all I want to know. Thank you.
Okay, anything else under new business, or old business? I keep wanting to go to new. If none, okay, we'll move on to new business. Anybody have anything going on that? None offered, then we'll go ahead to subcommittee updates. Township liaison, Tom, would you want to give us an update?
I really don't have anything to update you with. There's other than the fact, Brandy is here and she's been working hard. She's very an impressive person. She's really put a lot of hard work into this current budget. The one thing with the kayak launch, I've talked to Dale, Brandy. I mentioned it to Mike. Looking at the possibility of putting in some inexpensive kayak storage racks that we could rent out at a seasonal or annual fee. They'd be rather inexpensive. Instead of transporting your kayak on the top of your car every time you want to use it, your kayak would be right down there, adjacent to the launching facility. And I think if one person had his kayak down there, he'd probably encourage a couple others. And then the monies that were generated from the storage could be used to maintain, applied to the maintenance of the kayak launch itself. It's a thought that I've had, and I've had some discussion. It'd be nice to be able to do it at the same time the kayak launch itself was installed, because it'd be digging 6 holes and putting a couple posts in. Very simple.
I'm wondering, Tom, based on what you're just saying, is a great idea. But what I'm wondering is, you remember we took down the
mast.
the mast rack. I wonder if that could be, because those were very substantial, and I'm wondering if we could modify that to accommodate what you were just.
I was
talking about.
hoping to see like 3 racks, at least 3 racks with 6 storage spots on each one. And if I threw a number out there, say $100 a season to store your kayak on it, which would generate $1,800, and then annually, and then that money could be applied to maintaining because we have to put that kayak launch in every spring and pull it out every fall. You don't leave it in the water.
Oh, yeah.
So anything that we could do to generate funds to help support itself, and then increase the usage. That's what I was looking at. But I'd like to pursue it, go forward, keep it simple. And if I do know that when the Grosio Yacht Club were putting in kayak storage racks, they were sold out before they were ever installed.
Yeah.
It's just far simpler, easier for people to just go down and.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and there's quite a flow of traffic through there. So as far as theft or vandalism, I don't see that being any more of an issue than
anything
else. But
I did put a little bit of money in the budget for those. I didn't show any revenue right off the bat, just in case we didn't get them in this summer.
But it was just a thought. And,
Yep.
Well, those pilings that we used, or the posts that we took out, were very substantial. You could modify that almost any way you want.
I don't know if Bob still has them laying around.
That's what I was going to check.
Yeah.
I was going to ask Mike.
I'd
do you
be
know?
happy to share with you what I was envisioning, and because it would be a 6x6 wooden post covered with a PVC, a 5.5-inch square wooden post covered by PVC with 2-inch pipe cross members, and there'd be just like that, and that would have a piece of PVC. It had a PVC sleeve on it so that the kayak would be sitting on a clean, rust-free.
Yeah.
And then we did some sort of an attachment point so that you could hook your cable, tether it to it for
Yeah.
But it just
That
it's
would be a
thought,
lot less expensive than what I was thinking. I
and
can see
it's just a
that.
thought, and then hopefully we'd be able to go through with it. So that's all I have to report. We've got a whole new year ahead of us,
Great.
right?
Thank
And
you.
A bright one.
Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else? No. That would be, I'm at the wrong place. I didn't check it off.
Leah.
Excuse me. I'm new at this. Township Board Liaison, Mr. Bavesco gave his report, and now we're on open space greenways. Leah?
I don't have a report this week. We meet next week, so I'll have one in March.
Okay, great. Golf Committee, Bill Morrow, he's not here. I think Brandy kind of covered most of what we're working on now. We have tee-off times available, 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, so if anybody's interested. But the Golf Course Committee has been meeting, and I'm working right now on getting all of our volunteers so we can get together and have a meeting with them. And also, I'm trying to put together the current golf committee where we meet with Brandy and Mark, and we decide what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, and how it should be done, and those kinds of things. So I'm working on putting that together, and we can once I get that, there's a couple of guys who are still in Florida. Excuse me, so we'll take care of that. Marina, Mike Swales?
Sure, Mr. Chair. If any of the last year's dock holders are watching this meeting, we would ask you to please let your intent be known. If you want your dock this year, reach out to our Director Boyd, because the response has been slow so far, so we'd like to hear from you as soon as possible. Dockmaster Lang is suggesting that he would be interested in the township purchasing a service platform to go on top of the travel list for access to mast tie-off point. He's looking at approximately $3,500 cost, and this will be very helpful as part of the travel lift when he's handling some of the larger masts. So maybe not in the budget this year, but just a thought, as we do handle a lot of sailboat masts as part of our service.
I'm sorry, what, can you repeat what that was?
That is a service platform to go on top of a travel lift for access to the mast tie-off point. I think it's the ability for the individual to get up there and do some work safely.
Okay.
Sometimes they get all tangled up and they can use that platform to undo it or replace the cables and lines and stuff.
And you said 3,500?
$3,500 is what Bob thought it had cost last time he looked.
Okay.
Moving on, depending on this year's water level, we always have to think about dredging along the wall in the travel lift area, but hopefully we'll have high water level again this year like we did last year, and that wouldn't be necessary. I will schedule with Dockmaster Bob and Director Boyd a walkthrough of the marina, maybe late March, early April. Once ice goes out, we can just walk through again and see the, inspect the condition of the marina after this another severe winter. Bob is also suggesting, a couple of years ago, we did build a nice walkway from Pier 1 to Pier 2, and we always have the desire to keep going north from Pier 2 to Pier 3. That would take some volunteers from Water's Edge, as we did a few years ago, but that's a goal of ours. Also, for the last couple of years, the storm drain continues to seep water through the asphalt at the marina entrance. It's been noticeable the last couple of years. There's always a puddle there. I don't know much about that, but it's just something to be aware of. I don't know if it's ever going to be a bigger issue or not, but there always seems to be some drainage there as you drive down off the West River Road into the marina, even during dry spells. So Bob's think there's a storm drain issue. He wants to note a few months ago a boat fell off the stand. The boat was upright and there did not appear to be any damage. And I know that can happen occasionally from time to time, but hopefully not often. Bob says we stored 54 boats for the winter season, so that's good revenue, but there's always room for more. That's all I have, Director.
Thank you very much. Centennial Farm?
I just, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Couple of things with the Centennial Farm. Mostly I'm talking about the animal shelter. They're having a fundraiser on Saturday. I'm sure they've advertised a lot. Everybody should know about. It's sold out. It's going to be at the Pilot House here on Saturday. It's a dinner of chicken and waffles. It's going to be live music with Howlin' Mercy. It's a fundraiser they're hoping to add on to the animal shelter building. They have completed one room. The new way to go with animal shelters is to have the cats not housed in cages, but to be housed in rooms. There's a lot less stress and you have a lot less illnesses. So the cats, they have one room designed and finished. I guess you'd call it a community cat room, where there's going to be about 6 cats that'll be in it together. As far as the fencing in the dog park, I'm sure that Brandy's working on that, and that has a lot to do with the weather. I didn't see that, though, how you budget that. I don't know how you budget the fencing.
It's in under maintenance,
Okay,
under the farm.
okay. That's
Anything
it.
else?
That's
Great,
it.
thanks for your report.
You said the ticket, it is sold out.
It is sold out.
Is it still possible to go to the bar area and sit if you just want to be part of the scene?
If it were me, I would crash it and go.
Okay.
I would go.
I would recommend
Yeah.
you come after 8 if you're going to crash. Because dinner's from 6 to 8 is my understanding. So if you're going to come after 8.
Very cool. Okay.
I'm not telling you to do that.
That's good. All right.
Yeah, we're
Yeah, it's going to be.
Airport recreation area.
I don't have anything at this time due to the weather.
Okay. Senior citizens, Ethel?
Just a couple small things. The senior fitness, they still have their strength training program on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. They began on February the 16th, and it goes through March the 27th here at the farm. It's from 9:15 to 10 a.m., and the drop-in cost for a day is $7. And there's still time to make reservations for the St. Patrick's Dinner Wednesday, March 11th at 12:30 p.m. at Centennial Farm. $10, advanced reservations only at Water's Edge, or call 734-675-2364. And I have an update on the free blood pressure check. It's presently on the second Tuesday of the month only at the farm. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Ethel. John Conroy, you want to cover schools, and we can have Natalie cover you cover the Senior Olympics, and Natalie can do the school, huh?
Sure. Don't have too many updates on the Senior Olympics. I missed the last meeting. It is progressing, and it is going to happen the end of July. And I believe we are going to host pickleball again. And I don't know about ping pong, but pickleball for sure. As an aside, as far as ping pong is concerned, we took a group of our seniors this past Tuesday and connected with the Taylor senior citizen folk and played ping pong with the kids at Truman High School for about 2 hours. We had a great time. We competed. We also did some mentoring, and good times were had by all. Also, I want to mention at the Macomb Street Market, Scooter DeMare, the owner, the co-owner, he has twin girls with cerebral palsy, and they both need medical treatments, but one in particular needs very expensive medical treatments, and they're having collections, or he's doing collections at the cashier spot. And anyone that knows Mr. DeMare knows how beloved an individual he is, and how long he's been connected with Grosse Ile, not only with sports, but trying to do great things in the township. And he and his partner have taken over the market. So please to stop by and take a look and see what's going on at the cashier spot. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Does Natalie want to say anything?
I don't really have much, but this week is, or next week is ACT week, and spring sports are starting the week of March 9th, and winter sports are starting to wind down. Girls basketball has a game tonight against Woodhaven, so we'll see how they do after this holiday. And that's
Okay, great, thank you very much. Extended public comment.
Oh, you've got the place.
Bill.
I'm sorry, yes, we have Playscape. at Park.
Pass you right by,
Let's see, for the Playscape, I went to the Kiwanis meeting last Thursday, and the Kiwanis would like to sponsor another spring cleanup day at the Playscape, but we'll have to determine a date to see, what works for them, and then what would work to get the Key Club and Builders Club together too there, and do another cleanup day. As far as the East River Road End Park, tomorrow, Brandy, Dale, and I will be meeting tomorrow to determine a procedure to figure out how we're going to name that park. That's it.
Potawatomi Park. Potawatomi Park.
Eagle Cruise.
They're the Indians that did it. Put it here. Okay. Extended public comment. We have none, so we'll move on to individual commissioner comments. And anybody have anything that they want to say before we adjourn?
Yep.
Go ahead.
I got, it's our second fish fry tomorrow night at Sacred Heart Church, 4:30 to 7:30. Last week's first was a big success. I expect the same tomorrow. Come one and come all. And then also, after you have some fish and have worked your, gotten filled up on that, 7th and 8th grade basketball is still continuing at the middle school. Starts at 7 o'clock Friday nights. Come on and join and come over and see the kids play. That's all I got.
Anybody else?
Yes, I have a couple of things, please.
Go ahead, Ethel.
I'm sure everyone's read about the articles in the Yo Camera about Ed Merkowitz. And my husband knew him and followed his career for a long time. And it truly would be nice if everyone would flood him with birthday cards and well wishes, because now he had broken his hip right after the first publication. And he's now at American House at 3601 South Adams Road, room 110 in Rochester Hills, Michigan, 48309. And if our commission doesn't mind, I brought a card if you'd like to sign it, and I'll mail it. And one other thing, I'd like to send wishes to Art Kester, so he returns to good health soon, because Art and Claire are island icons, beautifying the Gros Isle, and their hard work is seen everywhere. And he's having a rough time. That's it, thank you.
Thank you, Ethel. Anybody else?
I've got some. Sport dear to my heart. Lacrosse starts up conditioning Monday, March 2nd at 6 o'clock at the middle school. All interested people should show up. So hopefully Ms. Snyder will help me pass the word to the high school so we can get a big turnout.
Thank you. Randy, do you have any more?
We do have some new dog obedience classes starting. Do you remember the date? And that's going to kill me. It's the...
They didn't tell me the date.
Okay. Well, if you look on our website and then our Facebook page, we have dog obedience starting and a new exercise class starting. It's kind of in between from channels, so it hasn't been advertised yet. So we're trying to push the information out. So if you're interested, you can click on our website, grosile.com.
Who sponsors the dog obedience?
I do have one more thing.
Sit.
John, you have something else?
I do have one more thing. I noticed a story in the paper this week regarding Belle Isle kayaking. And the program is going to be supported by our own Riverside Kayak Connection folks. So that's Belle Isle itself has been taken over by the state, and I've heard all good things about that. And come one and come all to do more kayaking down there.
Never
Roseal is closer to Bell Island.
A lot
Yeah,
closer.
there you go,
Yes.
Tom. Tom, do you have anything further?
No, much closer.
Okay.
No, Bill, no, thanks.
Okay, great. All right, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
So move. Okay, second?
Do you want to sign that?
Okay, Tom seconds.
I'll tell you something.
I declare, any objection? No, I don't think so. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We're done.
Have a good night.